Dante's Inferno, Canto 4, Circle 1, Limbo. Summary. Dante wakes to find himself across Acheron. The poets are now on the brink of hell itself, which Dante conceives as a great funnel-shaped cave lying below the northern hemisphere with its bottom point at the Earth's center. Around this great circular depression runs a series of ledges, each of which Dante calls a circle. Each circle is assigned to the punishment of one category of sin. As soon as Dante's strength returns, the poets begin to cross the first circle. Here they find the virtuous pagans. They were born without the light of Christ's revelation, and therefore they cannot come into the light of God, but they are not tormented. Their only pain is that they have no hope. Ahead of them, Dante sights a great dome of light, and a voice trumpets through the darkness, welcoming Virgil back, for this is his eternal place in hell. Immediately, the great poets of all time, Homer, Horace, Ovid, and Lucan, they greet Virgil, and they make Dante a sixth in their company. With them, Dante enters the citadel of human reason and sees before his eyes the master of souls of pagan antiquity gathered on a green and illuminated by the radiance of human reason. This is the highest state man can achieve without God, and the glory of it dazzles Dante. But he knows also that it is nothing compared to the glory of God. Canto 4. A monstrous clap of thunder broke apart the swoon that stuffed my head. Like one awakened by violent hands, I leaped up with a start. And having risen, rested and renewed, I studied out the landmarks of the gloom to find my bearings there as best I could. And I found I stood on the very brink of the valley called the Dolorous Abyss, the desolate chasm where rolls the thunder of hell's eternal cry, so depthless, deep, and nebulous and dim that stare as I might into its frightful pit, it gave me back no feature and no bottom. Death pale, the poet spoke. Now let us go into the blind world waiting here below us. I will lead the way, and you shall follow. And I, sick with alarm at his new pallor, cried out, how can I go this way when you who are my strength in doubt turn pale with terror? And he, the pain of these below us here drains the color of my face for pity and leaves this pallor that you mistake for fear. Now let us go, for a long road awaits us. So he entered, and so he led me in the first circle and ledge of the abyss. No tortured wailing rose to greet us here, but sounds of sighing rose from every side, sending a tremor through the timeless air. A grief breathed out of untormented sadness, the passive state of those who dwelled apart, men, women, children, a dim and endless congress. And the master said to me, you do not question what souls these are that suffer here before you. I wish you to know before you travel on that these souls were sinless, and still their merits fail, for they lacked baptism's grace, which is the door of the true faith you were born into. Their birth fell before the age of the Christian mysteries, and so they did not worship God's Trinity to the fullest. I am one of these. For such defects we are lost, though spared the fire and suffering hell in one affliction only, that without hope we live on in desire. I thought how many worthy souls there were suspended in that limbo, and a weight closed on my heart for what the noblest suffer. Instruct me, Master and most noble Sir, I prayed him then, better to understand the perfect creed that conquers every error. Has any, by his own or another's merit, gone ever from this place to blessedness? He sensed my inner question and answered it. I was still new to this estate in tears when a mighty one descended here among us, crowned with the sign of his victorious years. He took from us the shade of our first parent, of Abel, his purest son, of ancient Noah, of Moses, the bringer of the law, the obedient, Father Abraham, David the king, Israel with his father and his children, Rachel, the holy vessel of his blessing, and many more he chose for elevation among the elect. And before these, you must know, no human soul had ever won salvation. We had not paused as he spoke, but held our road and passed meanwhile beyond a press of souls crowded about like trees in a thick wood. And we had not traveled far from where I woke when I made out a radiance before us that struck away a hemisphere of dark. We were still some distance back in the long night, yet near enough that I half saw, half sensed what quality of souls lived in that light. O ornament of wisdom and of art, what souls are these whose merit lights their way even in hell? What joy sets them apart? And he to me, the signature of honor they left on earth is recognized in heaven and wins them ease in hell out of God's favor. And as he spoke, a voice rang on the air, "Honor the Prince of Poets! The soul and glory that went from us returns. Here he is! Here he is!" The cry ceased, and the echo passed from hearing. I saw 4 mighty presences come toward us with neither joy nor sorrow in their bearing. "Note well," my master said as they came on, "that soul that leads the rest with sword in hand as if he were their captain and champion, it is Homer, singing master of the earth. Next after him is Horace the satirist. Ovid is third, and Lucan is the fourth. Since all of these have part in the high name the voice proclaimed, calling me Prince of Poets, the honor they do me honors them." So I saw, gathered at the edge of light, the masters of that highest school whose song outsoars all others like an eagle's flight. And after they had talked together a while, they turned and welcomed me most graciously, at which I saw my approving master smile. And they honored me far beyond courtesy, for they included me in their own number, making me 6th in that high company. So we moved toward the light, and as we passed, we spoke of things as well omitted here as it was sweet to touch on there. At last, we reached the base of a great citadel, circled by 7 towering battlements and by a sweet brook flowing round them all. This we passed over as if it were firm ground. Through 7 gates, I entered with those sages and came to a green meadow blooming round. There, with a solemn and majestic poise, stood many people gathered in the light, speaking infrequently and with muted voices. Past that enameled green, we 6 withdrew into a luminous and open height from which each soul among them stood in view. And there, directly before me on the green, the master souls of all time were shown to me. I glory in the glory I have seen. Electra stood in a great company, among whom I saw Hector and Aeneas and Caesar in armor with his falcon's eye. I saw Camilla and the Queen Amazon across the field. I saw the Latian king seated there with his daughter by his throne, and the good Brutus who overthrew the Tarquin, Lucrezia, Julia, Marcia, and Cornelia, and by himself set apart the Saladin. And raising my eyes a little, I saw on high Aristotle, the master of those who know, ringed by the great souls of philosophy. All wait upon him for their honor and his. I saw Socrates and Plato at his side, before all others there. Democritus, who ascribes the world to chance. Diogenes, and with him there Thales, Anaxagoras, Zeno, Heraclitus, Empedocles. And I saw the wise collector and analyst, Dioscorides, I mean. I saw Orpheus there, Tully, Linus, Seneca the moralist, Euclid the geometer, and Ptolemy, Hippocrates, Galen, Avicenna, and Averides of the great commentary. I cannot count so much nobility. My longer theme pursues me, so that often the word falls short of the reality. The company of 6 is reduced by 4. My master leads me by another road, out of that serenity to the roar and trembling air of hell. I pass from light into the kingdom of eternal night.